Dylan Raiola, Jeff Sims. Two completely different style of quarterbacks, yet they will be the starters in back-to-back years. 2023, of course, Jeff Sims. 2024, probably opening with Dylan Raiola as the starting QB. Nebraska now is a quarterback coach on the staff. We can turn our attention to 2025 and see what kind of quarterbacks that this staff may have their eyes on, as it gets a little bit more complicated when you have a 5-star true freshman and a 4-star true freshman in the class to navigate that next year's quarterback recruiting class. So we're going to get into a little bit of the film overview of the newest offered member of the 2025 class from the quarterback position, TJ Lateef. And we're going to get into that in just a second. First things first, my name is Justin Adams. I'm content creator here at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. If you do like what we're doing here, please consider liking and subscribing. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Join the conversation. I'll be chatting with you on the comments. So drop your comments. Let us know what you think. Let me know what you think of TJ Lateef's film and the quarterback position moving forward. So let's just get into it. TJ Lateef, a quarterback out of Orange Lutheran, class of 2025. He will be visiting April 27th, officially, confirmed, which will be the spring game. 6'1", 185, 4-star overall quarterback, ranked number 10 in the class of via 24/7. That is via 24/7, by the way. And that is overall, not in the state of California. 10th overall ranked quarterback. Junior season stats, as you can see there, 152 for 214, 63%, 1,965 passing yards, 18 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, 230 rush yards to 5 touchdowns. Now, he did play his junior season banged up, so keep that in mind. But there is a lot to like, and I got about 14 plays or so probably that we'll go through here on the film and show you a little bit of what I like about TJ and what the staff may like about him. So I will pull this up here for y'all, and let's go ahead and just start it rolling with the first play. Okay, so first thing we want to do here is we want to identify the coverage here. So it looks like there's going to be, a middle defender over the top, which leads to it being a closed over the top, some sort of potentially cover 3. You have man here, potentially over here. So let's see what happens when we get into this play. This looks like it could be anywhere from a cover 0 to a cover 3 look. We'll let it run a little bit. Let's just let it play. Okay, cool. Now, I'll bring that back for y'all. All right, in this play, essentially what he does, sorry, I'll bring this over here for a little bit. Okay, that'll make it easier for me to see. So essentially what he does here, so you have outside man here, you have man here, you have this guy with outside leverage already. This guy, he's got his hips squared in front of him, so he's going to be him. These guys are blitzing, so this is literally a cover 0. Once you identify that this is a cover 0 and all 4 of these guys are in man coverage across the board, which of these routes is going to look the best right now? Okay, so he's got a little bit of space still. His hips are squared, but he can still release and stick with this guy. He's still in a good defending position. He's still in a good defending position. He's already got his hips going forward, same as this guy. He just needs to kind of cut that route off. And then right here, as you will see, this guy is already breaking to the outside. So his hips are still this way, not up the field yet. So right now, he is not in a position to be able to guard this route, even though this route has outside leverage. We're going to let it run. He identifies that, puts it right over the top to the outside shoulder. So when you have outside leverage, you definitely want to bring it to that outside shoulder. I'll get that off the screen so y'all can see a little bit there. All right. So there's the first play. All right, let's move over to the second play. All right. So right now, no middle defender. So we're open over the middle of the field. This looks like it could be a cover 2. These defenders are dropped back a little bit further. So these look like these will be 2 deep halves potentially. Right now you got a numbers game. So you have 3 defenders on this side with 2 wideouts. You have 2 defenders over here with this 1 wideout, and he's probably going to be dropping back to coverage. So you would have to assume potentially this is man. However, it's hard to know with his hips being inside. He's not lined up on the guy like this. So it's hard to tell what kind of coverage they're doing there, but odds are it's probably some kind of man. Let it run. Okay. So he's here. He's still kind of covering his deep half here. He's starting to drop back to cover his deep half. You have this linebacker right here who's going to brush this guy and bite down on a play action a little bit, and then he realizes it, this guy's gone. This guy's already in this zone, in this void right here. This would be a perfect time to throw him the ball. Okay. You have this guy who's breaking down onto this route, which is going to leave his half of the field open. So this safety that was supposed to cover this half he bites down on this receiver right here, even though he has help. And this guy is able to just come across free in the middle of the field. This guy is covering his half. So he doesn't realize this guy has already lost his coverage. He comes across, he's going to hit him coming across the field, and easy pitch and catch right there. So, all right, let's move over here. We have man coverage on the outside. This starts as what looks like an open, but watch that middle safety shift to the right a little bit. Okay. So now this gives you more of an open look. When you have an open look, you want to fill the void. You want to kind of throw the middle of the field, seams, stuff like that. So we have man here. This is almost a press man kind of. You have the linebackers across here. You have him looking in, so it's hard to tell if he's going to be on man or zone. And you have him just shifting outside. So right now there's no coverage over the middle of the field. The linebacker, usually one of these guys, potentially, you'll want to read one of these guys, because if there is a middle open of the field, see if one of these guys is going to drop back. But again, press man on the outside. You have this guy over the top. This could potentially be cover 2 with an open look. It could be cover 4 quarters. Let's let it run and see. All right, so you have man here. So 100% man. He's looking here. 24 is up on this route. This middle of he's got a couple underneath routes here, because all of these linebackers right here are going to blitz outside of this one. Now basically his area of responsibility becomes that middle of the field. So this guy is shadowing him. He's shadowing him. Nobody on these underneaths. So he can hit these underneaths if he wants, because this is almost like a zero blitz. Okay. And let's let it run. All right. Right now, this guy, he has him. He's already shaded to his inside. He's running an inside route. Again, these two guys are open. These guys right here, there's 2 brackets on this one receiver right here. Now 24 gets completely blown by, and this guy is just lost in the sauce. Right over the top, over the middle. That is exactly what you want to do in cover 2, is attack the middle of the field. Basically, this comes down to that linebacker that drops back cannot get back in time to be able to get this guy to get the underneath. So he's able to just drop it in over the top of him and in between the two. And yeah, that is a large dude right there that he's throwing the ball to. That defensive back has no chance in hell there. All right, so let's move it forward to this one. Okay, here we go. We got cover 2. It looks like these 2 deep safeties, open middle. Again, you can attack the middle of the field here. We got 3 on 3 here. We have obvious press man right here. Okay, and then we have a couple linebackers. We have one coming here, and then this guy right here is going to be shaded to this side. He's going to have this half, but as you can see, the wide side of the field is over here, trips over here. So he also has to be mindful of keeping his eyes inside a little bit, and also monitoring this guy right here, because this is man. So off the line right here, let's run it. So he's press man. He is literally pressing him right there. He's coming off the edge. We have one guy that looks like he's going to be dropping back here. May keep an eye out for that running back or a release here. You got man up top. You got this guy probably shadowing him, and it looks like these are cover 2 right here. Yep, cover 2. Both of them drop back into the void. So right now what you see is we have him covered, and he's kind of bracketed between 2. On this side, though, you have this linebacker who now kind of is just a spy at this point, damn near. You have this guy on press man. Well, now that receiver has just already, in that short few yards, got outside leverage. Remember how I said this safety was going to have his eyes to this side of the field? Well, the problem is he has his eyes and hips to the inside of the field. Look at TJ's feet. TJ is already planting, and his eyes are already here. All he has to do right now is he needs to go over the top of this guy, over the top of this guy. This guy right here, if he throws it right in that middle, he won't be able to recover in time just because he's not in a good guarded position to be able to shift his hips over that direction and make it over there. His hips already need to be shaded to the right. His eyes can be shaded to the left, but his hips need to be kind of squared or a little shaded to the right. Now, when TJ plants and throws this ball, he's going to drop it right in the in-between void. Again, just a beautiful throw right there on the money. Just kind of shows you some of the touch that he has on his passes. And we'll let that run. All right. So let's move to play 5. Okay. So this one's more of a closed look because you have the defender over the middle of the field. Okay. You have what looks to be potentially man, but his eyes are inside. So this looks like it could be a cover 3 look just based on the fact that this guy's deep, deep, deep. And each one of these, is probably going to cover a third. So again, pre-shell coverage and then actual confirmation coverage once the ball is snapped, 2 completely different things. So let's let this run. Okay, so first thing we noticed, he has this guy right here. He's shaded to the inside, but it looks like there's man here unless he's going to pass this off to this guy. Okay, right now, his first step in the middle was drop back, drop back, drop back. So a lot of space between these guys. So let's let the route concept run. Okay, so he runs almost like a little table or a China route. He runs a little China route right here. When he runs this China route, essentially what this does is this guy right here is going to cheat in a little bit, and he's going to run almost like a post corner. So when he bites, he sees this guy, this safety right here sees this guy doing a little China route, and he also sees his guy on an in breaking route. So his first step is inside. He's already cheating inside. Okay. And again, he's supposed to have this deep third here. So coming off of this, he sees that little China route start to break. He sees this little post here, and it's that quick plant. Now watch the hips. It's all about the hips when you're in a guarding position. Once he cheats inside, boom, look where his hips are. He already bit. His hips are going this direction. He has already opened his hips up. He's about to jump it out this direction. There's going to be nobody there who can cover over the top because he already has outside leverage. So again, it's all about leverage. When you have outside leverage, he wants to get this ball to him on the outside shoulder, especially when the help is on the inside. Everything's to the inside right now. Boom. Throws it out. Back shoulder. Perfect throw. Outside leverage right where it needed to be. This defender can't get over in time. It's just not his area of responsibility unless it was cover 1, which potentially could be cover 1 that was just ran poorly. Either way, that's something that he needs to be aware of. I think this was cover 3, though, but we'll let it run. Cool. All right, let's back it up here for this play. Okay. This looks like it's probably a little bit more of a cover 2. Got 2 deep guys here, open middle of the field. So again, we want to try to attack the middle, the seams, some of these little voids in the underneath. So again, you want to attack the middle of the field up here, find some kind of openings in this, but the middle of the field is very open during cover 2. Okay, so the rotation almost there looked like this rotated a little bit to a cover 3 of this shape. This safety shifted up a little bit, but right now we got man here, man here, man here, and let's see who takes this route. Okay, so he's going to go. Basically, all of them are going to go with this route, leaving this guy right here, one-on-one with outside leverage, and you have this guy one-on-one with outside leverage. He's in a little bit better of a guarding position than he is, though. And that's right where the throw goes. Okay, so plants, yeah, once he has that outside leverage, so essentially those routes underneath brought this guy inwards, right? This route, all of those, this route right here sucked everybody down. And all that means is this guy is already coming out and around. There is no help over the top of that route, and then you have a late route coming from here, and there's no help at the top of that one either. So at that point, it's pick your poison. He knows this route is going to be a comeback. This route is going to continue out. So that was his first sight right there that there was going to be no help. That route gave him a little bit of a hint. And then this route just came underneath, a second after it, throws it perfectly to the outside leverage shoulder. This guy's playing catch up. Nothing he can do about that. Just a great read. And again, some of these reads, I will say, some of the reads and some of these offenses are it's doesn't matter on the shell. Some offenses are run where the coverage and the pre-shell coverage doesn't matter. They're still going to run through their progressions, whether it be, okay, we're going to do the hitch. We're going to look at the hitch first, the vertical, then we're going to look at the flat, right? If that's the order, no matter what defense they come out with, that's going to be the order. However, there are other offenses where you're going to throw your routes based off of what the defense shows you. And essentially what that tends to do is it makes the receivers a little bit more, I guess, effort. They put more effort in on each and every play because they know that any play, the ball could be coming to them based on the coverage. And that puts a lot more stress on the defense. So let's go back to this play here. Okay. So what do we have right here? So we have 3 linebackers, 2 deep safeties. It looks like we have press man on this side. This cornerback is already blitzing. So we have this cornerback right here who's already blitzing. This looks like it's going to be a little bit of a movement direction kind of a disguise here to kind of get the defender's eyes lost as to where the ball is. So you have some crossing stuff in the backfield, and this guy's blitzing. So essentially what you know right now is this is probably going to be some sort of man coverage. All right, we'll let it run. Again, he's pressing here. He is one-on-one with him. This guy is already coming off the edge. However, they have a play action rollout bootleg coming this direction. So these linebackers here that are rotating coverage are late rotating because that little play action right there got them going that direction. This guy right here, this is the route right here that he wants. This one is like, again, this one's a little occupied. What they're going to do here is essentially they're going to run a little bit of a kind of a 2 route, but almost just like a high-low concept, right? You have a high, a low, and a low. This guy's still caught up with the press on the corner, so of course his route is not available. You have a guy right here, but you have 2 people over the top of him. He's throwing this here, basically puts that out. It's going to be hard right there when you're in a situation like that where you have a guy one-on-one and he's running something like an out or a stick or something like that. That route wasn't even well run. It was rounded off a little bit, and he still is able to hit him. Boom. Because that's just such a hard thing to guard, especially without coverage over the top. He doesn't want to get beat with a little out and up, so he is going to hang back just a little bit on that. All right, let's move into this one. This one's a little bit more of a, this 3rd and short right here. We're on the goal line. We have just kind of a across the board look right here. It looks like it's going to be press man though. Press man, press man, press man. And these guys are on the line of scrimmage. Okay, so what do we have here? We see this guy coming. All right, so he is probably going to be either doing like a fade or a post corner, but there's help over the top. There is no help over this side. So his initial look is probably going to be out here to see what these guys do with these routes. Now, if you're going to usually run an out and an in or something like that, sometimes you want to pass these routes off. If not, if he throws the outside shoulder, it's going to be hard for the guy on the inside to recover. Let's see what leverage they get. Okay, so he's in front of him. He already has outside leverage with that move. So you see that little move at the line, that little stutter step he did at the line, already got him biting. And so he is already a step ahead. He already has him beat. Boom. Right there, stick, outside shoulder fade. Got it. Good read. All right, moving on. Let's get – all right, here we go. So right here, it looks like we have somewhat of a cover 3 style of look. You do have a defender up here in the middle. You have these guys on the sides. This looks like it could be a man. This guy looks like he could be blitzing, but let's let it run and see. Okay, so his first step is inward, but it looks like he's sitting to potentially drop back. He hasn't moved, which means he's going to be probably this middle third. He is out here, but his eyes are inside. So it looks like he might be in cover 3, covering this third. He has got this third. So let's see how this runs. All right. So right here, he's coming across the middle. He has this guy, this defender. Again, his first step was in. He's dropping back a little bit. Okay. So this route right here seems to be breaking inside. His hips are inside. His hips are inside. This route broke inside. Hips inside, hips inside. He is going with this guy. He is shadowing this guy. The problem is right now, he's not deep enough. He is kind of on an island over here by himself. Nobody picks up that route pattern across here because this route takes this coverage away from that area of the field. And there's just nobody there to recover. There's no help over the top. That's an easy pitch and catch. Again, that one route just came across the field, almost like a a high-low concept on the left side, like a levels almost. And then this route is just going the opposite direction. One route going the opposite direction to try to cause confusion in these crossing patterns, which it does because nobody passes off the route, nobody takes the route, and it does its job. It causes the confusion. All right. Let's look here. All right. Okay. So right now what we got is it's almost kind of it looks almost like a cover 4 quarters style of look, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 defensive backs. Okay, we have 2 routes right here, 2 routes right here. So right now you have numbers on this side. This guy's looks like he's going to be in the middle of the field, probably the middle third. These 2 guys got these routes over here. Let's let it run. All right. So this underneath right here is immediately open. His eyes are here. So it looks like he wants something to do with this route concept at the top of the screen. This one right here, they have numbers. Okay. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue jerseys to 2 white jerseys. Right here, you have 2 on 2. This guy is not going to be able to get onto these routes. So don't worry about him. It's one-on-one out here. Okay. So right now you have these 2 defenders trying to figure out what these guys are going to do. Both of them are zooming up the field right now. Okay. And they're going to have to make a split-second decision. Okay. So this route cuts underneath. He goes with him. He is already out of position because he's too focused on him. What they should have done before this is known who was going to cover who and what way they were going to pass it off. And essentially this man coverage basically takes both of these guys and takes his man, and it's almost like a pick play kind of, to where there's just not enough time for him to get back underneath from this route and get under that to make a play on that ball. Quick little out. So it's just like an Ohio style of play where you have that vertical and then you have that out route. Okay. And then over here we got, let's see, we have help on this side. So this looks like these linebackers might drop into coverage. You look like you potentially have man here, potentially have man here, just based on where their eyes are and where their hips are. These 3 guys, you have man over here. This guy, I guess, would be help to this short side. Let's see. Let's play it out. Okay, so already right here. Okay, so we have man. We have, we have man here. We have man here. Man here. And then we have, so 2 on 1 here. We have 1-on-1, 1-on-1, but 1-on-1 here. Okay, most of them in good guarding position except this one. This one's probably the most out of place. And then you have to see what this receiver here is going to do with this void between these 2. Okay, so he passes that off to him. Perfect. He's covered. He right here, he is starting to make a move. He has outside leverage. So if he gets this ball to his outside shoulder, he can do one of 2 things. He can either try to throw it to this guy on the break and see if he's going to be able to come back and get it, or he can drop it over this guy's outside shoulder where he has leverage, try to let him go get that ball. Okay, so he threw it a little underneath, more arm strength to get that on the outside. However, the receiver makes a good adjustment, still made the right read on the play overall, but made a good adjustment on it. Okay, so these looks right here, right? So these are tricky because when they're in a line like this could mean cover 4 quarters. It could be some kind of cover 6. So we have, let's let it run a little bit. Okay, so we have man, man, what looks to be man. All right, so this might be cover 0 based on nobody taking a step back yet. And all of the eyes on each receiver, this looks like it potentially could be a cover 1 or cover 0. There's no, if this guy's supposed to be the safety help over the top, he is lost in the sauce. Right now, you can already see a route coming open. So you have this guy underneath. You have this guy already has outside leverage. This guy's just kind of blanketed right here. He's not in a really good position. This guy up top, though, he already has a step. Like this happened quickly. Immediately, he runs a little inside concept, and he's just going to run a little out. What he does is he runs a vertical, but he does that little step and that swim outside to get the outside leverage. Essentially, what this guy was doing right here, this guy is already, you got to know where you're going to pass these routes off. So, I don't know why I keep saying that. Okay, so he's on here, he's on him. Now, he is already about to break this route on the underneath. He, not sure what he was thinking there. He is going to come, let me go see. Boom. Okay, so that inside step. So he's coming underneath. He does an inside step. So they might be thinking both of these are going to the inside. And he probably thinks he has inside help from here. Well, he puts the step on him and then cuts it upfield and blows right past him. And a good throw, put it right on the money. Okay. And let's see if this will be the last one. This will probably be our last one here. All right. Okay, so right here we got open middle of the field. So this looks to be somewhat of a cover 2 style of look. You got, we'll see what happens here. Looks like man, potentially man across the board. It's either man or match. Okay, so we have a little outbreaking route here. These guys pass him off to this one. Okay, so this is basically a floods. This is going to be a flood. Essentially, all of these routes look like they're going to the left side of the field. Every single route looks like it's going to the left side of the field. And what that does is it's going to cause chaos in the levels, essentially. And what it means is this guy, he's going to be on him. He's on him. These two are eyes down on him. He is covering him, and he's got him, right? So there is going to be a split second in this void where when he passes his middle third off to this guy, where there's going to be an opportunity there for him to throw that ball in there. And what he does is, since this guy was taken away from his third by this wide receiver right here, they were able to drop that in kind of right in the little void in the underneath. So, you know, when you're in a cover 3 or just a cover 1 or just a closed look in general, that's where you're going to want to find those little voids in the field. When you're in more of a open look where it looks like the middle of the field, that you're going to want to attack the seams. The reason those are a little bit more complicated is because there's a lot more mixed things that you can do out of the open cover 2 look. Again, like I mentioned, you could be in cover 4 quarters, you can be in cover 6. There's a myriad of things that you can do from that look. But and this is high school film, of course, so we're not going to expect him to know every route concept and all of these things and stuff like that. But still, looking at some of the stuff that you see on the film and some of the stuff that he identifies, you start to look into his mind, right? If he's injured for part of the season, and what we really have to go off of is what we can see. Well, let's look into the mind of the quarterback a little bit and see what he brings to the table. One thing you'll also notice is his feet are very calm. And Glenn Thomas did point this out. You know, he says calm feet means a calm mind, right? So what that means is when you have calm feet, you're not thinking of bailing. You're not automatically like, if you have in the back of your mind, I want to take off, or if you have in the back of your mind that I'm going to get pressured, that's when you start seeing happy feet. You start to see those little stutter steps, dancing, but that gets you off rhythm, off platform for your throws. You know, if you're stuttering your feet in a anxious way, then it's hard to get your hips where they need to be because you're probably out of place. If you're not moving with intent, if you're not moving within the structure of what you want to be doing, then if a route comes open, you're not automatically going to be over there hips towards it, be able to launch a throw into it. You have to know and have your feet steady. And then if everything else is taken, then run. And that's the difference between a pass first run quarterback and a run first quarterback. He is obviously a passing quarterback. Again, just a little bit smaller than Raiola. Well, pretty good bit smaller. So doesn't have the arm strength and stuff like that. But, very, very good as far as his touch and reading the coverages and knowing what routes are open and understanding the leverage of his receivers. So that'll do it for me here. I just wanted to go into a little bit of a film breakdown. I'm a film guy, love the film. So again, if you like what we do here, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out. And, I appreciate everybody's comments. And yeah, I will continue to do more of these film breakdowns a little bit more in depth. Let me know what y'all think of these. And if y'all like them, I'll keep them coming. So everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.